My good brother, how we doing?
I'm doing great. When'd you make this?
Before I went to bed on Sunday, so it's like early Monday morning.
I can dig it. How long is it?
This whole thing's like an hour and a half. I'll send it to you after.
Yeah, I was like, is this like another cleaning one that you made?
Now this was one before I went to bed. I got like a few series. I got like one that I call like before bed, and before work. Then when I'm just when I'm cleaning the house. Oh no, I just got like this. I really like. I wish I could like show you my computer screen, but I just have like a library of these that I was kind of like I should probably just start making more content around it.
Yeah, you should really start to live stream these sessions. Like,
hey, I'm at 100 followers on TikTok now, so maybe one of these days I'll be able to live stream. How many followers do you have to live stream on TikTok?
I think triple digits is enough. As someone who's not on TikTok, who refuses to get on TikTok, I feel like 100 is a lot.
You think so?
Yeah.
Hold on. You want to look that up?
You want me to Google how many followers?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let's look.
The internet said 1,000.
What?
Oh, to access the live feature on the TikTok app, you must have at least 1,000 followers to go live.
Wow.
I did not know that.
I'm 1/10 of the way there. Yeah, I ain't getting that shit.
You might not with that attitude.
Listen, it'll be a while. It'll be a while. You don't know what'll be going on by
maybe you make like TikToks, and then that gets you the 1,000 followers.
You're right. Listen, this is just letting me know that I got to go back and make some more.
Gotta go back.
Listen, I might rejudge that one. Make a little TikTok of it. My good brother, as always, every Tuesday, it is great to see you, ladies and gentlemen. You already know when you see this Nas fade, it can only be one brother, the good brother, Los D Mix. And as always, I am joined by the smoothest bald head on the East Coast, my man, Danny Ocean. Danny, how we doing today, my brother?
Oh, man, we live in a dream. It's a long day at work.
They got you working. That 4-day work week, they got my boy working.
But you know what? There's only 2 more weeks left. So this week and next week, and then that back to a normal work schedule, back to getting a good night's rest. I'm looking forward to the end of the summer in that regard.
You wait 2 more weeks. When do your people go back to school? What?
They go back early this year. So we have some schools that started this past Monday, and then we have the other ones start the 12th. But people start to report like teachers and stuff report like the first week of August.
So, all right, tell me, what do the teachers do? Like that first, when no one's in there, what do the teachers do? Because I
don't want to know.
Wait, hold on.
I'm kidding. Right. So most of the time, for real, it's like learning and development. It's getting your classroom in order and like just doing a dry run for the year. That's low key. That's what they usually do.
See, why you ain't start with that? Why you have to make it seem like so freaky at the beginning? Like, I don't want to know. Like, what do you mean? This is our taxpayer dollars. What the hell do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. I'm not in there. I don't want to know.
Listen.
And that's not anything against.
Do you think there's been an uptick in these cases of teachers fooling with the students?
No, I think it's always been happening, but now there's just a place for it to be, because back in the day, if it happened, you would hear rumors and
Now,
whispers.
and back in the day, are you talking back when you was in school, when y'all used to take the horses to school?
Oh, first of all, I never took a horse to school. That's great. How could you say that to me?
He was all right. You right. You went to school back when they had the prohibition.
Yeah, that's what it was. I went to school doing prohibition. I hate it here.
Nah, go ahead, my brother.
I don't know. Like I feel. I mean, you weren't like when I was growing up, the internet started like blowing up and social media and stuff like that. So I imagine like if you went to high school in the '90s and someone was fooling with a teacher, like I'm sure like someone knew because young people like to snitch on themselves, but I don't think it's to the point now where because now like teachers are sending inappropriate pictures to students.
See,
And like
but what the kid got to do with that?
I'm just saying like there are more ways to get caught now than there were like because back then like you probably had to catch someone in the act because if not it's just hearsay, you know what I'm saying? But now you got social media, you got Snap, like there's too many ways to get caught. And let me say, like, we're not out here condoning underage relationships between teachers and students.
Oh, let me tell you something. If you are a teacher fooling with a student out here, not only do you need to go to jail, you need to go under the jail.
Under
the jail. Because what the hell wrong with you? Control your horny, nasty ass.
Control your horny.
Man. Let me tell you something. I feel like it's been one of the craziest weeks. Maybe. Let me tell you something. This weekend could have went one way, and I'm actually glad that it went the way that it did. Let me start off by saying that. But at the top of the show, while we speak to that, we must always, we're going to start by giving some condolences, some rest in peace. Super Bowl champion, punt return specialist Jacoby Jones passed away at the young age of 40. That's crazy. It's really crazy. So just prayers and condolences to the family. Man, listen.
It sucks, man.
It's crazy out here. But on the crazy flip side, I'm chilling. It's either Saturday or Sunday. And I just refreshed Twitter and I'm talking about 15. It says 15 seconds ago, DT. Okay. 45, Donald Trump has been attempted assassinate. And I said, bro, ain't no way. Then I clicked into that video and saw what happened. Bro, I could not believe it. First off, let me start by saying this. I don't necessarily care for which side of the line you was on, politically speaking. Thank the heavens he did not die right there. Because it would have been,
buddy.
Listen, that's just footage that the internet. I mean, like, yeah, we didn't need that. We didn't need that. Nobody wanted that. Then on the second hand, a lot of people people think that, and they're you seeing a lot of people talking about some. I can't believe they missed this, that, and the third. And while some of the jokes were a little chuckle funny, if you think about like the overall sentiment, I was sitting back thinking, y'all think that would have solved some issues? Who?
Yeah, you don't want to know what that would have started. So yes,
so
I am with you.
Listen,
I'm glad. You know what's funny about that? My wife and I were at dinner, and I couldn't even say it out loud because there were people around us. So I just like slid her my phone, and she didn't want to say it. Excuse me. No one wanted to say it out loud. And then the table beside us, like 10 minutes later, they were like, damn, somebody tried to shoot Donald?
Wait.
Or someone tried to shoot Trump? Like, it wasn't loud, but it was loud enough so we could hear them.
What
they were us.
Background were they?
They were like us.
Oh, I know how they said it. Damn, someone tried to take out Trump. You know how my people.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like they said it loud enough to hear it among themselves, but I heard them, and I just kind of looked out the corner of my eye like, that's crazy. I don't know, man. We live in
Yeah.
this crazy times, man.
That brother was only 20. Here's my thing. They said he was a registered Republican.
yeah, like he seemed to be one of
Danny,
them.
but talk to me. Talk to me. He's 20 years
Yep,
old. Who was he voting for in the last presidential election when he was 16? He couldn't.
he
So,
couldn't. He said, and I'm not voting. He said, I'm not voting this one either. Go ahead and take me
who was
out.
he a Republican of? If he don't really, all right, no one's hearing me. It's okay.
I said, yeah,
Ladies
I
and
think
gentlemen,
my bad. You have to tell me when we get off because I ain't
I,
picking it up.
listen, something's fishy, but I don't
All
know.
I know was
I can
that
tell you, anyone who thinks a man set himself up to get shot and
crazy.
like somebody really died there. So like think what you want, but like if he listen, this is what the other crazy part is, and I keep thinking about this. If this man had not turned at the exact angle that he was turned at, oh Danny.
It'd have been JFK in HD.
Listen, we got a great show for y'all lined up. We're gonna start this thing off by jumping in to our yearly divisional breakdown. Ladies and gentlemen, we do this. When you hear this, this means that we are about 8 weeks from really getting this thing going in the NFL. So how this is going to work? We'll take one division each week, break down the record, division winner, some storylines, maybe even some breakout players. And then, as usual, we'll do our division MVPs for this. We'll chat a little bit else around some news in the NFL before we get into the NBA and WNBA. Ladies and gentlemen, I do have an announcement to make. This is particularly for the fantasy community. The Los D-Mix Commissioners Notes
Brr, brr, brr,
will
brr.
Yes, the fantasy commissioners notes will be returning next week on our 723 episode. So stay tuned as I really begin to re-put on my commissioner's hat after my vacation, and I start to look at my landscape of leagues as I'm on my way to finally not only just winning one of my leagues, but all of my leagues.
You know what's funny? Before we start, I got on sleep the other day, and I looked at my roster, and then I looked at the draft capital that I have for next year, and I said, "Oh, buddy, don't let me be floating at the top of the standings after 3-4 weeks, because we're gonna be spending. Like I got 2 firsts, 3 seconds, 3 thirds. Oh, cow, that's a cool nickname, Los D Comics.
Mm. Los D Commish.
Yeah, Los D
Los
Commish.
Commish.
Los Commish. But
Los
yeah, I'm
Commish.
excited, man. Like if don't let me mess around and get off to like a 3-1, 4-2.
All I got to say is I think I have a really underrated roster, both standing, like both projection wise. Listen, just know week 1 we start the year off versus Kyle, and my guys are ready. You know what I mean, and I feel like I'm really set up for success down the road. Either the boy JJ McCarthy, I believe, or no, who'd I get? I know I got Bo Nix.
You do have Bo Nix. You have JJ too. You have JJ.
Yeah. Either JJ McCarthy or Bo Nix. One of these two got to work out by the year 2020, whatever, when we go into our super flex, because that's when I'm gonna really get going. And yeah, let me ask you something. Oh, I think we've already chatted about this, but you are in favor of keeping an IDP, right? Like you want to keep one in the evolution of our rosters.
Yes, but I wanted to turn the other one into a flex.
Okay.
I think having one IDP makes you have to think really hard. You can either go for like a TJ Watt or do you go for like a ball hawk like a Kyle Hamilton?
I don't know, man. I honestly like either I like adding one more spot for running backs and wide receivers, or two flexes, like straight up. I just feel like taking both out.
So you want to take both IDPs out and do
Personally, like when I vote, I will probably vote for adding two regular flex spots,
okay.
or well, we already got what, four, three.
So yeah, we got three flexes. So we got two running backs, two wide receivers, one tight end, three flexes. So you're thinking about taking. So what if you did three running backs and three wide receivers, or
Yeah, that's
two
what I'm
tight
saying.
ends? Because I feel like we have enough flexes, don't right? Like three flexes is a lot.
Here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do. My option B, and I'll edit this in the app so everyone will see it. So it'll be very live. I will change that from one running back and one wide receiver to one running back and one either wide receiver or tight end. Like the
Okay.
actual, it won't be a flex. It will be like either we actually, all right. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add the tight end as an option.
Oh, so Cal has a very interesting note. He said, if anything, I say we have 3 or 4 IDP starters if we were going to keep them.
No more. No, we're not going up. I think 2 is the max. 2 is the max.
That's a no for you, dog.
Option D we can always keep option D, or I can add an option D that is keep the same.
Yeah.
With 2 out of the 3. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna update it to option B will be remove both IDPs and replace with two out of the following 3. One running back, one wide receiver, one tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And you pick 2 out of the 3.
Okay.
Like we vote for 2 out of the 3 as a league.
Yeah.
And then option D will be keep rosters the same. There we go.
Boom.
You should be able to see it if you looked at the pin messages.
Let me see. Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
So I'm curious to see what people do. 5 flexes would be interesting, but who knows? But yeah, we'll get more into that starting next week. So I need all my guys, Kyle, Keely, Bam, the weekly roundup. We'll need it starting next week. And of course, we will be covering all the leagues I commission in the Los Commish section. What else are we talking about today, Dan? I think a little big deal or no deal, chat a little WWE. I don't know if you watched Raw last night.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a little bit of a love triangle. Then we'll chat a little bit about some of the international football games that were going on last week, as we had the final to both the Euro League and Copa America. I know we had the NFL to start. I actually kind of want to start in the NBA.
Let's do it.
Just because I think the NBA news we can probably run through, so we can give a little more time for the NFL stuff. Let's start out in the NBA. Team USA, as they kind of get ready for Paris and the Olympics. They're getting their roster together. They've been playing a few exhibition games. You saw the game against Canada not too long ago. They had a game against Australia yesterday where they barely won.
Yep.
So let's just start right there. What's your first thoughts on Team USA? What they're looking like? Do you see the flaws? What are your thoughts on Joel Embiid potentially being benched? Some are saying Anthony Davis should maybe be starting. What are your thoughts?
I think they'll figure it out. I think my biggest fear, and we saw this in the Australian game, like the Clippers disease. Like you get up big and you just take your foot off the gas and you start having fun. And next thing you know, it's a tight game and Devin Booker had to hit his free throws for you to feel comfortable and sneak one out. My biggest fear for Team USA is France. Like, what do you do against Wemby and Rudy? Like, you got Anthony
Well,
Davis, you got
well, we got
Joel.
Anthony Davis, we got Joel Embiid, we got Bam Adebayo, who's going to be big. Like we got people who can defend. We got LeBron, we got Steph. Like what they gonna do? They gonna do? You got KD.
That's true. That's true. In Canada, here's the thing about Canada for me. Dylan Brooks is on the team.
Yo, you and Dylan Brooks got real life beef, and
I don't have beef. All I'm
I need
saying
to
is
figure out what is the reason.
there is no reason. All I'm saying is Team USA can pull up multiple lineups. They're not going to do it right, but you can have multiple lineups that could be a starting lineup. And for Canada, no matter what starting lineup you create, Dylan Brooks is going to have to be in that lineup.
Yo, you know Dylan Brooks is like an All-American type hooper back when he was in college and all that.
Yeah, everyone in the NBA was an All-American type hooper in high school and college.
That's hate. Like, yeah, hate runs deep for Dylan Brooks, and
There's no hate. I'm just saying.
Are you? Did he do something to the Mavericks that you were not a fan of?
Absolutely not. The Rockets are not a threat to the Mavericks at all.
Hey, they're supposed to get better next year.
Yeah, so are the Mavericks.
Touche. If I had any thoughts on Team USA, I would say that I think once they kind of find the true lineup that works for them, I know it's kind of matchup specific, who we play specific, which is kind of why the roster was kind of built the way it is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kind of curious to see how they begin to really react in these closing situations, who really becomes the closer. I mean, you got LeBron, you got Steph, you got KD, you got Ant-Man, you got Booker, you got Anthony Davis, you got some really, really good players. So I'm really just curious to see how they kind of continue to gel and how they kind of figure out who's the guy when the game gets kind of close late in games. So
let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Do you think AD should start over Joel? Because I do.
Do I believe Anthony all day, generational, once in a lifetime Davis player should be a starter?
I mean, Joel is generational in his own right.
But look at the resumes.
Yeah,
Look, don't ask me. Look at the play on the court.
And I think AD is a little bit more versatile.
AD's so good that you forget how much money we're paying him. Like we as in the Lakers, and then when you kind of comes back into reality, you're like, yeah, I mean, yeah,
he's worth it. I'm not saying he's not. I was just saying I would start. So who would your starting five be?
Listen, I'm starting Steph Curry. Oh man, I'm starting Tyrese Halliburton, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards. No, Tyrese Halliburton, Ant-Man. No, yeah, Tyrese Halliburton, Ant-Man. No, Steph, Ant-Man, LeBron, KD, AD.
Correct. You kept saying Tyrese Halliburton. I was like, who?
Because I wanted a true passer to be out there with all these playmakers. And then I started thinking about it, and I was all right, well, Steph just might have to pass the ball. But then, I don't know, it's maybe better with him coming off the ball. That's why I wanted him and Halliburton on there, so he can come off the ball because he's really good off the ball. But then I was like, all right, well, then how is AE, KD, AD, and Bron going to fit into this? Not to mention like Bam and Drew and Book and
see that second unit is going. So that second unit is going to be like Drew, Tyrese, Bam, Joel, and then who fill out that small forward? Book. Or would you put Book at the 2 and Tyrese at the 3?
Who's on the roster? Who else on the roster? There's got to be another wing.
Let's see. I'm forgetting somebody.
Why do you think France will give us problems? Like, what about Rudy and Wemby in that combination has you worried a little bit?
I mean, that's just, and I'm preemptive pause. That's a lot of size. Like, we know Rudy gets these jokes, but defensively, especially with FIBA rules, you're allowed to be a little bit more physical. Like, Rudy is not going to go. Like his presence, I feel like, means more. And Wemby, he grew up in FIBA. Like, he's from France.
What did you think of Joel Embiid talking to the ref, talking about something? I'm trying to be physical.
He elbowed that man in the face. Jason Tatum is the other wing we're forgetting. That's who
Oh
it
yeah.
is.
That's what I'm saying. So he'll be he's definitely in that second unit. Honestly, he could be in the starting unit as good as he is.
Yeah, but the question is, who's going to take out KD?
KD or Braun.
Shh. All right.
What about Jaylen Brown and the cryptic tweets? Basically, he's trying to say that Nike basically had some influence on him not being chosen after the Kawhi injury. Grant Hill, the head of the USA Men's National Basketball Program, said absolutely not, had nothing to do with it. But of course, Jalen Brown got these tweets off. What are your thoughts there?
I understand the conspiracy, but the man has a point. He just won Finals MVP. Like, he is a 1-for-1 Kawhi plug, right? Like, he is not Kawhi, but like you want an athletic wing, he's right there. The person I feel the worst for is Derek White, because that's his teammate, right? Like,
Derek White already said that it's cool. Like, they ain't got.
What is he supposed to say? Like, this is an honor, one of the best moments of your life, and your teammate is like, him? You picked him?
Definitely some hate in there.
A whole lot of hate there.
Definitely some hate in there.
Not even, I might have missed it, so if I did, I apologize. But I didn't see anything like a congrats to Derek White. Like, it was like Derek White, then off the rip.
I read somewhere that he called them and said,
okay. Well, I was about to say, because man.
But to your point, maybe the respect should be as loud as the.
Yeah, like, I know this is aimed at Nike.
He said your resources won't scare me.
Yeah, like, this is aimed at Nike, but Derek White's collateral damage with that remark, because you're saying him. You picked him. Say what?
Jaylen Brown basically saying you let Terry Bone.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm Derek White, you don't make a fuss about it because you're lower on the totem pole than Jaylen. But I definitely make like a mental note of that. Like, okay, this is what he really thinks about me.
Now let me ask you a question: was any tweet of Jaylen Brown's worse than him mouthing Bronny isn't a pro on the sideline?
Nope, because I do believe that conspiracy theory that there was a clutch Escalade outside waiting for him and telling him to get in the car.
Rich Paul sat him down and said, "Listen, son, you can say whatever you want, but what you won't say is that.
I need you to fix it." And you know what I mean.
Hit him with the J Prince finger guns.
I was about to say, is Rich Paul the new J Prince? Because that's what it sounds. That's what it feel like.
Just know when you get that Rich Paul call, that clutch call, you retracting some statements.
And you're not a client.
Oh yeah, you retracting statements.
You about to run something back.
Speaking of Jalen's, what are your thoughts on the other Jalen? Jalen Brunson leaving $100 million on the table to help the Knicks build a better team around him. Mikal Bridges, Julius Randle, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, and so on.
This again, I'll keep saying it. This is a ripple effect of the new CBA. I would not be shocked if more superstars take haircuts. Because once you go over that second apron, I can't say it enough, your team is locked in. Like, that is it. There is no flexibility. So I would not be shocked if more superstars start doing stuff like this. Because,
he's supposed to be making some more, like, there's a chance for a bigger deal in like 3-4 years. I think like 3.
Oh, yeah, when he has 10 years of service, right? Mm-hmm. He can sign like a big, which is true. But again, if this current CBA is still running, like, we could be in a situation again. Now, if the Knicks have won a ring or two in those 5 years, and now give me my money.
When did Jalen Brunson get in the league?
18?
2018.
I want to say 18. He came a year after Luka, and I think Luka's 17.
Oh wow, 6 years. Hey, sometimes you go get that money, King. Right? Like, I didn't. Go get that money. He left y'all.
He was 18. He got that money. Oh, good for him. I'm glad. Like, I'm glad it's working for him. But yeah, man, like, I feel like you're gonna start seeing more Like I'm intrigued to see what Luka does next year because Luka is eligible for the biggest contract in NBA history next summer.
What are your thoughts about Kyle's comments then? So he says, I didn't know that Jaylen Brown didn't make the Olympic roster. It's crazy that Caitlin Clark was a more significant story. I guess Clark is the bigger superstar. He said this is also the third week in a row that the second apron is the number one story for us in the NBA. Kyle, it's affecting a lot of things in the NBA and a lot about how these franchises are going to be moving. It's a big deal. Kyle, it's basically what happened, Kyle, was imagine playing a game with someone in a competitive league, and there's this one team who gets this really good player to join, and they just go on a tear, just beating up everybody because they're so good. And one of the people on one of the teams, from one of the smaller local teams, he got really upset because he couldn't beat this one team, him and his homeboy. So he joined the players union, bitched and complained his way into being able to break up teams like the one that he couldn't beat. So now this is where we're at with it.
Because back in the old CBA, you would just get luxury tax. Like for every dollar you spend, you have to spend $5 in tax. So if you have a billionaire like Joe Lacob, who gives a rip? I don't care about that. We win in the rings. Pay it. That doesn't exist anymore.
Any WNBA or Summer League news you want to talk about? Bronny, hey, keep shooting, my boy. That's all I got to say.
Hey, Bronny.
But Dalton Connect 4, whoa. That brother can hoop. He's nice with it.
See, I'm going to, little transparency in the trust tree. I haven't watched much Summer League. There's no one who interests me.
All right, we're talking about the WNBA. What's the landscape looking like?
So All-Star Weekend starts Friday, All-Star Friday night. The game is Saturday night. So All-Star Friday night, like 3-point contest. We're getting into the Olympic break. Hold on, I had the standings up. And if you are a fan, it has been an excellent season. You and I talked about where the conference standing, not the conference, where are the league standings?
Sparks got to be near the bottom.
Yeah, but Cameron's hurt. And the Sparks are the third worst team. But once Cameron got hurt, we knew that. We talked about, so 8 teams get in. We talked about if we're going into the Olympic break, if the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky are in the playoff running, then it's a successful season for Caitlin and Angel. And they both are. The Fever are the 7th seed. The Sky are the 8th seed. I know Connecticut and New York play tonight. Actually, I think they're playing right now. They played last week. New York won. New York is up 2-1 against Connecticut.
You know which channel? Let's see.
I think it's on the League Pass. Hold on. Let me look it up. Because I usually have the games on while we're podding. Yeah, it's on Prime right now. And it's the third quarter. New York is up 52-46. And that's always been Connecticut's problem. They can't just get over the hump. But yeah, the Aces are starting to click. Everything you and I talked about at the beginning of the year, it's starting to unfold.
Chelsea Gray, her return has been very good for the Aces, I imagine.
Yes, the Aces are 9-1 in their last 10 games, the best record in the W over the past 10 games. Asia's averaging 28-16.
And where do they stand in the overall rankings again?
Third. They're third. So it's New York, Connecticut, Vegas, Seattle, Minnesota. Nafisa Collier has plantar fasciitis. I'm wondering if she can travel to Paris for Team USA. Phoenix, Indiana, Chicago. If the playoffs started today, that would be a lot of fun. Caitlin Clark versus the Connecticut Sun. Dejanay Carrington's in running for Defensive Player of the Year. I feel like she has shut everyone down this year. It's just fun. Still time. I think when they get back from the Olympics, they have 13 games left, and then the playoffs start.
That's exciting. That'll be really exciting. I'm really excited for that. Okay, ready to talk a little NFL, AFC South, brother. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you already know when it's time for the Speak On It boys to get into the NFL divisional breakdown. You know we are getting close to football. We're getting close to pads hitting. We're getting close to stadiums rocking. Danny, did you get college football 25? Yay or nay?
No, but hear me out. I am seriously considering buying a PS5 just to get NCAA 25. It looks amazing. I've seen the clips. Do you get it?
I'm waiting on us to finish this pod, and I'm starting my road to glory as I prep to join my dynasty league. Guess what? All right. So before we get into NFL, well, we're talking about football, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, we're talking about football.
So, road to glory. I'm gonna be a quarterback per you. That's my favorite position to be in. Road to glory, that or a running back. But I like being a quarterback, trying to win a Heisman. But in a dynasty, we probably got this league, the same league I did Madden with, but we're adding more people because obviously with more teams in college football, you can have more variety. So we're getting we probably got 15, 16, 17, 18 people, maybe more.
Okay.
And so we had a rule that you had to pick what they deemed as either tier 3 or tier 4 schools roster wise in the game, aka because in Dynasty you have to recruit and stuff like that. So if somebody picks Kennesaw State and another person picks Alabama, well, let's be real about that recruiting here. You know what I'm saying? So we're doing tier 3 and tier 4 programs. The computer will continue to be the big schools like Ohio State and all that.
Okay.
So take a gander and a guess at what team I chose. Virginia Tech was a tier 2 school, so I could not be my alma mater. But I will give you the hint that the team that I chose is in the ACC.
Okay. You don't tell me you picked Boston College.
No, but someone did pick Boston College.
Okay. I'm not gonna NC State.
Nope.
I'm not gonna look at it. Oh, no, Georgia Tech.
Nope. 2 more tries.
Okay. I want to be funny and say Miami, but I know as down as Miami has been, it's not Miami. You picked UVA.
No, but someone did pick UVA.
Okay.
All right. Think about this. You got one more guess. You have to think about this. So this would be tier 2, tier 3, or tier 4 tier 2 or tier 3 programs. So we're talking about schools in the ACC that are maybe on the up and up, but they're not good enough for you to always look at them as contenders over the last 10 years since the last game. So, and they are in the ACC now.
Oh, okay. That have they been? Did they just join, or have they been there for a while?
Guess now. I've given you some good. I've given you some good ones.
Okay. Okay. I've narrowed it down to 2. You're Stanford?
I am not Stanford.
Wake Forest.
Not Wake Forest. Don't worry. I got it.
I give up.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, a couple years ago when they said that college football was coming back video game format wise, I was really excited. I got that feeling in my loins that I ain't really had in a minute. That feeling of road to glory, that feeling of taking your alma mater from bottom of the barrel, maybe mediocre, to making them a powerhouse is one of the greatest things. Winning Heismans, shaking the crowd, having to go into hostile environments. I knew when they announced it that when I had to get on my dynasty mode that I had to be a team that would make me grind. A team that was on the cusp but haven't had it. And when I looked at these teams, I looked at this team and I said, you have what it takes to get back to your glory days. You have what it takes to go back to the days when you were great. You've had NFL legends play at your institution.
Okay, I know where you're going.
It's time to pony up. It's time. SMU. We're going right here to the promised land. You guessed it. Yeah. SMU. I'm taking us back to the promised land with Eric Dickerson and them.
Watch and now you can pay them in the open. Now you can pay them for everybody.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Kyle said, is he going to commit hat? He's going to get a hat.
See, I got the hat. It's LA, but imagine this says SMU. All right. AFC South. Speaking of things in Texas, although not in Dallas, the Houston Texans are in this division, as well as the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Tennessee Titans. So, Danny, I'll start us off. I'll go through each team's record from worst to best,
Okay.
to division winners, and I'll let you do the same.
All right. Start us
So,
off.
coming in with a grand whopping of 5 wins and 12 losses, I have the Tennessee Titans.
Okay.
I think I think they are going to take a step, although they have some young pieces. I just don't think they are going to be at the level that some of the other teams in the AFC South would be at. I think they are maybe 2 steps behind. I think they have one leg tied in a 3-legged race. And so I think it might be a little bit tougher.
What kind of country ass?
I
What?
So I think it might be a little tougher for the Titans.
What?
You ever heard that before?
No. And I too am a man of the country. I ain't never heard that before.
Listen to the playback. You'll hear it. That's wisdom. Coming in at a whopping 9 wins and 8 losses, I have the Anthony Richardson led Indianapolis Colts. I think they're going to come back with Anthony Richardson this year. I think they are fooling everyone with him in these headlines. I don't believe they're going to have him running as much as they did last year. I think they're going to try to look to him, especially early in this upcoming what should be really his rookie season. I think they'll try to establish him as a pocket passer to maybe start making defenses have to commit to him as a passer, and then I think they'll start to then open it up the quarterback running lanes. But I think they're going to start off a little shaky at the beginning of the year, kind of get it together. I think they'll be in the playoff race for that wild card race for a little bit, but I see them being right around 9 wins this year.
Okay.
Coming in at 11 wins, 6 losses, same record as the division winner, but will lose the tiebreaker. I have Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think this team is going to take a step forward despite the loss of Calvin Ridley. I think they're going to be a lot better of a football team. I think Doug Peterson is really going to find a way to get Trevor Lawrence to cut down these turnovers. I think they're going to start really putting him in a position to succeed more. They're going to take maybe some pressure off of him as well and open it up with Travis Etienne. Maybe look to get him involved more in the passing game and the underneath game. Maybe even have him becoming even more of a pass catcher. So I have the Jags being an 11 and 6 win team this season. Have them being a really, really competitive for majority of the season. But I feel like in their 2 games against the Texans, they are likely going to lose both of them.
Okay.
So I have the Texans at the same record of 11 and 6, but having the tiebreaker over the Jags by winning both matchups. I think they, when you look at C.J. Stroud, the addition of Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, they got Joe Mixon in the backfield. They got DeMeco Ryans and a really young defense that included the defensive player of the year as well. I think when you're looking at the Texans, you're looking at a really, really good football team that just has to start figuring out ways how to get over the hump. And I think DeMeco Ryan starts to help them get over the hump. And I think C.J. Stroud continues to take that step. I imagine a sophomore slump maybe early in the year, but I still anticipate C.J. Stroud being one of the better quarterbacks next year. So I have them at 11 and 6 and being back-to-back division winners of the AFC South.
Okay. So you and I are on the same page for the most part. I have the Titans at 6 and 11. I want to believe in the Titans. Like, they have a good defense. You have DeAndre Hopkins, even though he's older. You have Calvin Ridley. You have Tajay Spears. Like, you have enough to do something. I just don't know if they can do it, if that makes sense. Like, you got the tools. You got the pieces to the puzzle, but I don't know if you can put it together. So I got them at 6 and 11. I agree with you that Anthony Richardson, this is his rookie year. So I have the Colts going 7 and 10. I think he's going to start off like that's not an easy injury to overcome, and especially for someone who is touted as someone who is built around athleticism, someone who has a rocket arm like him. I think it might take some game reps for him to trust his body in a way where he was playing before he got hurt.
You know what I hear when I think of the Tennessee Titans? I think of a song that comes to mind. I want to play that song.
Oh yeah, let it rip.
All right. Let's see if I can get it. All right, come on.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I think about. That's what I hear when I think about the Titans. A bunch of wanksters.
Not Will Levis.
And how much you want to bet Will Levis know that whole first verse by heart? He looked like one of them.
He does, doesn't he?
He looked like one of them. He looked
we know where he was at Saturday. He saw that live.
Listen, he looked like Drew Lock singing "Put On" by Young Jeezy. He know every.
Oh, that was hilarious.
When they see me off in traffic, they say Jeezy on some other. Hey, send them. Hey, running straight back to the dealership. Me, I'm in my space. Hey, Drew Lock knew all the bars. Go ahead, Drew. Kyle said in his touchdown projections, the Titans have the fewest offensive touchdowns in the NFL, and he anticipates them having the number 1 pick in the 2025 draft. That's a shame because if they have the number 1 pick in the draft, Shedeur Sanders will definitely not be the number 1 overall pick.
No, he will not. He ain't going to Tennessee. I am not high on the Jags at all. That's one of we'll talk about when we get to the biggest storylines. I got them 9-8, and then we're gonna have a serious conversation at the end of the season about the Jaguars as they are currently constructed. Like I might see them get double-digit wins. Like 10-7 wouldn't shock me. But 9-8 is what I'm feeling in my spirit.
You misrepresent the greatness of Trevor Lawrence and the greatness that is Doug Peterson, the only coach to bring y'all a Super Bowl.
We will talk about the Jags in the biggest storyline, and then I have the Texans at 11-6. What do you do with the team with the great offense? We go add another great receiver. Stephon Diggs isn't top 5 anymore, but he definitely top 12.
Top 15 if you want
top 15, and you already got Tank Dell. We'll talk about this in the biggest storylines, but I'm very interested to see what happens with John Mechie in this receiving room. But I have the division winner as the Houston Texans.
You have John Mechie in the league, don't you?
I do. I have him in our Dynasty League. Yeah. I'm holding out for a trade for a team. I've heard
nobody trading with you, Willis.
No. I'm talking about like him being traded to a team that may need like a third receiver.
Ain't nobody come to see you, Otis. All right, so talk to me about the biggest storylines. Clearly, yours sounds like it's the Jags. So you think the big storyline for you is, can the Jags get over the hump this year and make a deep playoff push like Shad Khan maybe had alluded to in one of our previous episodes?
Yes, that's what I was going with. Shad Khan has put an immense amount of pressure on a team that already had a lot. My biggest storyline is Doug Peterson's job security. If we get to a spot where the Jags are struggling, especially early on, like does Shad Khan say, you know what, enough of this, and fire Doug Peterson? It's happened to Doug before.
I don't think that's where to start because he's your best bet at developing this quarterback.
I mean, he's been developing him. Is this year 3?
And he's gotten better, but it's not Doug's fault that this guy can't hold on to a football to save his life.
I mean, that's what he's there for. That's his job.
Yeah, he's trying. This motherfucker can't hold on to the football.
And you're not getting rid of Trevor because he just signed that massive contract. So if there's going to be change, it's going to be the head coach. That's for me. Like the Jags and Doug's job security for me is the biggest. I have a couple more, but what's your biggest?
My biggest storyline for this year will be Anthony Richardson. Was it a fluke or are you legit? There was a sample size of greatness that we saw, but there was also, we saw the injuries that pile up in that physical style of running. Took out Cam Newton, one of the greatest of all time. Will Anthony Richardson with a similar stature be similar, or can he develop faster as a pocket passer maybe than Cam Newton did, and maybe provide some longevity in his career? So that'd be probably my biggest storyline, is seeing how he bounces back. That's a big injury to come back from as well.
It's big. And then the other one I had Anthony Richardson's return too. My third biggest storyline is, what does a rejuvenated Stephon Diggs look like in Houston?
With the hose, he going for 100+ receptions.
I ain't saying
Cause
about no
he up in the
hoes.
strip club.
Like, he's your number 2 receiver, and you can make the argument he's your
He will
number
be the
3.
number one. He will be your number 1.
He'll be your number 1. Well, even like Nico and Tank as your 2 and 3, that's arguably the best wide receiver room in the NFL.
I don't know. The Green Bay Packers might have something to say about that, but I digress.
Green Bay Packers don't have 3 guys proven like those. Did anyone on the Packers have anywhere close to the stats that Tank and Nico had last year?
Yeah, we had a couple guys that are pretty damn good, don't you? Why you hating?
I'm not hating. I'm just saying.
Like Jaden Reed, Christian Watson in and out of the lineup. We had some tight ends that put in some work. Not to mention Romeo Dobbs had some. Listen, stop playing with us.
I'm just making a point. I'm not saying.
That's a
Name a better wide receiver room.
I just named one.
No.
That's 8. Not just sorry ass teams with wide receiver.
We need a wide receiver 3. John Mechie, come on down.
Yeah, don't worry. Y'all gonna need a wide receiver 3, 4, 5 when we put this ass whooping on you come opening night.
Okay.
You hear that? Yeah.
I'm worried about January football.
Okay. Yeah, why? Ain't gonna be no games played at the Link this year.
It's gonna be at the Link, baby.
Yeah, all right. It's gonna be funny when Dallas is winning that division again with ease.
Okay.
You
worry about the NFC title representing Detroit Lions.
Y'all listen, don't get me started.
Caleb Williams is gonna add another hole in your cheese head.
Y'all gonna help Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott retain job security.
That's what we want.
Yeah, I bet it is. Y'all don't want them problems with Dak and them boys. Y'all know. Y'all know. They not Philly. I mean, they not New York. They not Washington. They don't lay over for y'all. Who do you have being the breakout player in the AFC South?
Tajay Spears, Tennessee. Come on down.
Really?
Yeah, I know you like the sound of that. Derrick Henry's gone.
Tajay Spears, he was a hot trade commodity for me beginning of the offseason, but I held on. We were able to work out some things. Talk to me.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's gone. I still feel like Tennessee's identity is rooted in running the football. Someone needs those carries. I feel like Will Levis is a better passer off of play action.
Now, they did get whatchamacallit, Tony Pollard.
They did, but I think like Tony Pollard is a little long in the tooth. Like, I think you'll rely on Tony Pollard to close the games, maybe. But Tajay Spears, like he has more home run potential to me. Like, for me, it's Tajay Spears.
Listen, breakout player for me. Although, well, I don't know, because my original guy, he's a pretty big name, so maybe I shouldn't say him in that division. Honestly, I think this is the season Michael Pittman goes for 1,500 yards.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm sorry. I believe this is the season Michael Pittman is top 3 in yards receiving, so anywhere between 1,600 to 1,800.
Okay, that's a big one. That's a big prediction.
Yeah,
I like it though. I like bold predictions.
I think Michael Pittman's going to have a really, really good year. I think he's a really underrated receiver. I believe he got paid this offseason too, didn't he?
I believe so. I think he got a little. They broke him off a little piece of change.
Yeah, a little piece of change. I mean,
who you got winning MVP of the division?
Listen, CJ Stroud, going all the way back to last season. I think he's going to prove that he's probably the new face of this division, quarterback wise. I think he's going to be the clear-cut best quarterback in this division. And even though I do have them being the same record as the Jags this year, I think CJ Stroud will be clearly the best QB and the MVP of this division.
I too am picking a Houston Texan, but I am picking someone on the other side of the ball. I think it's going to be Will Anderson Jr. He had 7 sacks last year, which doesn't sound like a lot before rookie. I don't know, man. I feel like we're looking at maybe a baby TJ Watt. I'm not saying defensive player of the year.
What?
I'm not saying defensive player of the year, but I'm definitely saying double-digit sacks.
I think you're saying defensive player of the year.
Nah, I don't think we're getting that. I don't think we're there, but close. Like PFF had him graded as an 84. Like his grade's 84 overall. He's good against the run. He rushes the passer. He sacks the quarterback. And I think we're talking about a man who's going to get double-digit sacks this year.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. So we both chose a Houston Texan. So let me ask you, who do you think, if you had to pick a breakout player for the Jags, not named Trevor Lawrence or Travis Etienne, who do you think it could be?
I don't know, because that roster is, I don't know, man. I just don't feel good about the Jags this year. But if I had to pick someone, I don't. Mac Jones. Nah, I mean, I guess you got Brian Thomas, right? Like Brian Thomas is your best bet. Evan Ingram has seen to find his groove down there, but I don't think he's going to jump to like top 5 tight end. Christian Kirk, great wide receiver.
Last year, he probably put on a top 5 tight end performance.
Yeah, but do you expect that again?
I mean, same offense. Why not?
That's true. I just don't feel good about this Jags team.
Kyle asked if Anthony Richardson plays a full season, will he be a breakout? Yes, because technically he got hurt in like the first month and a half of the rookie season, so it's hard for me to count.
But would you count that as a breakout year after what we saw, right? Because one can make the argument if he had stayed healthy last year, maybe CJ Stroud isn't getting all this love.
Yeah, well, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk.
I have heard that many times.
Yeah. So I know sometimes we're in between a hard place and a country road, but
get your country ass out of here.
That's too country for you?
No, that's perfect. Well, you forget where I'm from. I am from the depths of the country.
The depths.
You can't hear it in my voice anymore.
I feel like I told you where my family's from.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah. Little big deal or no deal?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So, wait, before we get into it, Kyle said he hopes that I'm right about Michael Pittman, although he might not like that. I might not like that in week 1. Kyle, let me tell you something.
Uh-oh.
The Las Vegas Horn Ducks are going to be more than ready. This ain't the Horn Ducks from last year. We different now. We got the draft capital. We got the big boys now. Stop playing with us. We will be better next year.
This year.
Bring on Michael Pittman, George Pittman, Michael Dickman the third, Pittman that work with that be loving on Oprah. Give him all.
Stedman?
Pittman, Stedman, Medman, Treadman, Deadman. Messing with the Horned Ducks, you will be a dead man.
Where's Achilles when you need him?
Somewhere praising to Jesus sitting at a poker table with Tupac. Let's send our congratulations to Argentina and Spain, who won the Euros and Copa America tournaments respectively over the weekend. So really excited for those two countries. I know a lot of people were cheering on England to lose. Must be something about that colonizing they was doing way back in the day.
You know what? While we here, and this is completely off topic, but I talked about this weekend. How can you live in a place where you eat beans for breakfast?
My good brother. What?
The British, like you're talking about England, how people wanted them to lose. I want them to lose because they eat beans for breakfast. Who does that?
So you hate one team because of how they eat their breakfast?
Who eats baked beans for breakfast, dog?
What would you What do you say? What do you say to the Brits the Brits who say who eats breakfast bald-headed?
What? There are plenty of bald people in England who eat
And there's plenty of
breakfast.
and there's plenty of people who eat beans for breakfast.
Not in America, we don't. Like,
Yeah.
imagine, like I said, imagine you go downstairs, right? Or imagine you walk in the kitchen, you're like, hey, baby, I got some sausage, I got some eggs, I got some toast, and baked beans for breakfast. Get out of my
Well,
house.
the Negroes be at the hookah club on Sunday at the hookah lounge on Sunday at 11, getting happy hour during the Lord praising time. So I don't want to hear nothing.
That 11 a.m. beer is a whole lot different. And then another thing, you eat baked beans. That's a lot of fiber, right? And then you drink your morning coffee. What you do with all that shit in your stomach? What do you do all day? Your stomach on fire. What you gonna do? Shark during the morning huddle? What are we doing, man?
You got to use the bathroom. You just work from home, maybe.
Weird place. Weird place.
Oh man. What are your thoughts on how the men's national team did Kawhi Leonard on his exit from Team USA?
I don't understand what the problem is. He was hurt. They said he was hurt. They said he practiced. It didn't go well. Bye. I don't know what else. What else are we supposed to say?
I read that and I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Remember last week when I sat there on the pod and I literally said Stephen A. Smith is going to make sure, or Stephen A. Smith said that the Clippers would do everything in their power to ensure that he does not play in this Olympics.
And what did I say during the Clippers playoff series against the Mavericks? How you not going to play in the playoffs, but then turn around and play in the Olympics? I would feel some kind of way about that. You can't. You cannot do that.
But he even had a coach on the roster. Ty Lue was one of the assistant coaches.
That's great. You can't do that. You can't skip out because you are there to win NBA championships, not gold medals.
True.
And you sat out, and now Paul George is gone. So I'm sure Ballmer is like, hey, man, I'm opening a new arena this fall. I can't risk you getting hurt in the Olympics. And I know they said the Clippers had no say in this. That's a lie.
Yes, they did.
100%.
That was a lie. You seen those videos and clips of the new dome that the Clippers are going to be playing in? It's pretty fly.
It is dope. Too bad ain't nobody going to be in there.
Yeah, not with that roster.
Whoa. Back up. Cal said he ate beans for breakfast this morning. Whoa.
They're a wonderful fruit, I heard.
Baked beans, Cal? Or like black beans in a burrito? Because there's a difference.
You bean watching? You missed the beans?
I'm saying if you eat like black beans.
That ass boy. We got him.
All right, whatever. Let's go. You want to talk about some wrestling?
My boy over here policing the beans.
I'm just saying it's different. Like a breakfast burrito with black beans or kidney beans for breakfast. That's fine. Baked beans, like out of the bush can.
Every day you show me how you and Dominic Mysterio are related on the freaky ass boy train. But
some could say he lives life.
We can use that as a transition into our WWE chat because it was very Judgment Day filled. Ladies and gentlemen, we had a battle for mommy's love last night between Jey Uso and Dominic Mysterio. We got Rhea Ripley, who's back in full effect. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. May happen, may not happen, who knows? And then the big one is Damian Priest versus Gunther at the for the World Heavyweight Championship at SummerSlam.
Where do you want to start? Because there are 5 things in this that's hilarious. The first one for me is
the love triangle with Rhea Ripley, Dominic, and Liv Morgan.
That's perfect. How are we gonna act like Jey Uso not married?
Hey, that's why Rhea curving him.
How we not gonna act like not only is Jey married, his wife works on SmackDown, and like that is part of their character is that they're both married.
Oh yeah, because that's Naomi.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, he is married.
Yeah, but the most people don't know that, and they on separate shows.
So relationships don't count if you're on separate shows. Is that the Triple H mantra?
Well, they're not. If they're not going to be so front. Listen, man.
Triple H said, "Hey, your wife over there. We over here."
Yeah, he's probably just a one-time thing.
Hilarious. Maybe he's just saying it to troll Dominic, but it was still hilarious. Like he was like, "Tell I say yeet." Woo!
Listen, he wanted her to know Yeet because he's the Yeet master.
Woo! The thrust with the hand motion, I'd been hot.
You would have felt away.
Yeah, I'd have felt the
You
way.
you starting a fight like Dominic Mysterio did.
No.
Uh, what about Drew versus CM Punk? Do you ever see it actually happening?
I think so, but I don't know if it's SummerSlam. I don't know if Punk's clear by then. That's why I think they're laying the seeds for Seth and Drew too. Like they're hedging their
It
bets.
seems like every time Punk comes back, he gets hurt. Is that his body shutting down on him?
He's like 45. How old is that man? Hold on. He ain't no spring chicken. That man 40, he'll be 46 in October. Go home and be a family man. Enough. I said it when he came back. I wasn't excited.
That's hate.
It is hate.
That's hate. Solo versus
46.
Cody. Are you excited about that, or are you more excited for Damian versus Gunther?
I'm very excited for Solo versus Cody because Roman's coming back. But man, Gunther last night calling that man street trash and poor.
Man, let me tell you this. I am trying to figure out where they're going with Solo and Cody. But Damian versus Gunther is interesting to me because Damian Priest has botched his last two championship, opportunities.
Yeah, he has.
Does he get a third?
Yeah, he does. I think, and this is what's so great about now that Triple H is control, you really don't know who's going to win. Like under Vince, you could kind of get a sense, but I could see Gunther beating Damian Priest and then Damian Priest being kicked out of Judgment Day and turned face because he's already in the midst of a face turn. 100% could see that. I can also see Damian Priest, holding on to his belt, and I wouldn't have any qualms either way. I will say, if Triple H really want to do something, give Solo the belt. He ready. Give him the belt. The Cody's run ain't meant nothing. What has Cody done since he won at WrestleMania that made you like, man, this is a great title run?
You think that's where they're at? You think that's how they're evaluating it?
I don't think so, and I don't think Triple H is going to pull that trigger just yet. But let me tell you something: you want to ramp the bloodline up, give Solo the belt.
I don't know. You don't think they consider, continue try to build with Cody? They invested a lot in him, and you ended one of the greatest runs of all time.
That's true. So he got to at least hold it till the Royal Rumble at the very earliest. You're right. I forgot he ended one of the greatest runs ever. He just can't lose it in 3 months. But man, you talk about.
I mean, it's almost the same with Liv Morgan. Rhea's not going to come back and just win that belt.
Oh no, she's not going to win that till like the Rumble or what else? We got Bad Blood. We got SummerSlam, Bad Blood, Survivor Series / War Games.
Well, I thought Bad Blood was in October.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of all the pay-per-views between now and the Rumble.
Yeah, all the ones you said.
I'm missing, like there's one at Christmas. And then the Rumble's in January. No, the Rumble's in February because then there's that random one in March, and then WrestleMania is usually in April.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm just excited. It's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
Very great time. We still getting some good stuff. They still feeding the streets.
Did you see the clip from the live show when Liv fell on the referee?
No.
I'll send you the clip. It's hilarious.
Say that again. Sorry, you're breaking up.
I'm sorry. I'll send you the clip. It's hilarious.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right, I got to check it out. I'll check it out. I will check it out. Where are we at? We've covered a lot.
I think you have a solo for House of the Dragon.
Listen, Let me put my cap back on. Put my SMU cap back on as a future head coach of the future national champion SMU Mustangs. Pony up. House of Dragons last week was a really good but political episode. I think, me and my girl, we got fully caught up. As I watch it now, and as I kind of sink my teeth really into the story of what they're trying to tell, it is honestly insane to me how miscommunication is at the forefront of this show. Because like all they had to do was listen, and we wouldn't be in some of these situations. That's not what King Viserys said when he died, Alicent. Short, but
How is this before or after they sleep with a sibling or a cousin?
So Alicent was the former queen of King Viserys.
Okay. That was the old dude from last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She's the daughter of Sir Otto Hightower, his former hand.
Yep. Okay. Putting it together.
Who basically plugged his daughter in
at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
So pedophilia is on the show. Yep. I'm sure this show is a hit in Utah.
Yo, what's up with you? You shooting at Utah and the freaks.
You know how I feel about Utah.
Listen, they gonna catch you in Utah. They gonna learn next time you in Utah. They gonna learn you something.
I'm never stepping foot in Utah.
Listen, are you excited next week to go into the AFC East? We'll dive a little bit more into the Dolphins, the Bills, the Patriots.
Oh yeah.
And the Jets. And Aaron Rodgers will not be here, but he will be here via mushrooms and spirit, I bet.
And if you are a Bills fan, I would suggest doing something else next week.
Why?
Because the Bills are in trouble.
Or maybe they're not.
Oh, we'll see.
Let me get back. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you could have been anywhere in the world, but you were here with us. And to that I say, all I can do is just be grateful. Kyle, shout out to you for having that gig next Tuesday night. Knock it out the park, my good brother.
Yeah, Kyle. Oh, Kyle, I forgot you're in the band. Yeah, Kyle, you should share a link of where Kyle put in the chat where we can find your music. This is a cold mix.
Ladies and gentlemen, you can find us at speakonit_pod. And make sure you send us your questions at speakonitpod14@gmail.com. If you're listening to this via where you listen to your audio adventures, or you happen to be watching this via the live studio broadcast, all we can do is thank you. Make sure you follow myself at LosDMix. That's LOSDEEMIX. That is on SoundCloud, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, X, all of the sites, TikTok as well. Let's help get me to 1,000 TikTok followers so I can start going live with some of these mixes, so that way I don't have to put out as much content, or I don't have to film as much content. It'd be so funny because I practice, but then I also have to remember to record myself while just practicing, so that way I can get my live reaction to my own mixes. Because when I did, I was in the booth going on.
It'd be interesting to see how you link songs together. That's all I'd want to see.
It's just all in the library. You just look, and once you get the BPMs, find the BPMs and just start listening. You just know your library a little bit. I don't know.
I'm just intrigued.
He's intrigued. Listen, Danny, did you already let the people know where to find you?
Yeah, you can find me at Danny Ocean 41 only on Twitter because I don't have TikTok and I refuse to get TikTok. And you can find Kyle. You can check out PA.II, capital I's, or is that the number 2 anyway? Or you can find him at B.A.Y.O. Bayo.
Make sure y'all go check him out. Make sure y'all go check him out. Ladies and gentlemen, and with that,
catch you next week.
Listen, we'll see you next week. Shy Young New.